The hard thing about Backstage isn't how there's a bunch of cameras added in, or how a lot of the floors are now covered by lasers, it's how there's no mid-screen checkpoints, so if you don't get the entire screen right in one pass, well... This first screen I failed 7 times before, a couple of times at the start of the screen and predominantly at the midpoint where the camera blocks the lower path there. Couldn't figure out for love or money how to get past the camera without destroying it. My successful run here, I'm pretty sure, was just the result of me getting lucky with the key throw, and even then, I don't actually remember if that was intentional or not. I've said this before, but it really is panicking that gets you killed more than anything. If you know you're in a safe position and you've got time to think, then there's no reason to rush away from there. And there are a couple of spots here where that's the case. And if there isn't a safe spot, you can always just make one with the beams. The camera at the door here is pretty tricky, and I'm pretty pleased with myself for getting through. I mean, just look at those skills. It's like I'm good at the game or something. Screen 2, I only died on 5 times beforehand, and they were all very early on. So early, in fact, that about 2/3 of the screen I was doing here for the first time, which is why I spend quite a bit of time staring at a couple of sections trying to figure out how I'm going to get through. The beginning is much the same as before. Climb up to the top and move over a couple of platforms, avoid the chaser drone, oh dear god, avoid the chaser drone, put down the key before you try that yourself. And then you get to here, where I came to a slight crossroads. The first plan I had was to get rid of the blue spike by pushing up one of the rockets, but like I usually do, I had forgotten that nothing can destroy the blue spikes. Well, lasers might, haven't tried those before. As it turns out though, going down isn't too hard. Second split is right here, and like hell I'm going to put myself above a laser like that, so further down we go. The floor is relatively safe. The spring bots usually turn around on that floating platform with the camera on it, so you're basically untouchable in this little spot here. And they also don't jump as high as you can float, so if you ever get into a really tight spot, you can just do that. Now this camera, I will admit, is not actually that hard to deal with if you're smarter about it than I was. I kept trying to think of a way that I'd get both myself and the key across at once, ignoring the fact that I had the slingshot in my inventory. Hell, it's even in my item slot and I forgot to use it. See, look how easy that is. As my ruthless efficiency might indicate, screen 3 took a little while. 11 failed attempts, most of them ending about halfway through. Now, I don't like to use my items to destroy parts of the level to make it easier for myself, this much I've established well enough. But if my beams just happen to be active, and they just happen to push rockets, and those rockets then just happen to destroy parts of the level, well, how can I argue? It was clearly meant to be. That was unexpected, but certainly beneficial. That was really a pointless use of the slingshot, considering I have to come over here to pick up the vest anyway. Like I said in the last video, this point of the game is where hard mode really steps its game up. This was only 3 screens, and it took 35 minutes to complete. Wow. I couldn't imagine how it can get much worse. Okay, yeah, I mean, it does get much worse, but I couldn't imagine.